To the floor, I'm not moving anywhere. Lost inside of a crowd that couldn't care less. Everything was moving so fast. Everywhere I look, I'm starting to feel time is eating me.
All right. Good afternoon. Or evening, almost. It's going to be a super short stream. I'm going to be trying to scratch an itch for a UI I wanted to take a shot at. It's pretty versatile, I hope, in my imagination. I think I've scratched at it before, so this will be a good chance to, like, make it manifest. Let's see. So we're going to involve some sort of... It's going to be pretty much a system, but we should be able to get this done within... Here's hoping 30 minutes. The first one is going to be a script. Wow, going from 2022 to Unity 6 again is like... Dang. There we go. Okay. So first we're going to start with scriptable object. Let's make the rest of the classes. I think that's a good chance. Right?
it all again. But I don't wanna be on my own. It always goes much better in my head, but the feelings end up wasted. So I'm sorry for breaking down when you said you got me. I'm used to being let down, but I'm
Okay, there we go.
if I'm falling too fast, then you'll catch me. You'll catch me.
Interesting.
You might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash? I'm so afraid that you'll run out of patience. Trust me, I know how it feels to be hopelessly waiting. Sometimes I don't know if I can even change, but I'm still trying. So I'm sorry that you might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash?
We already have one in here. Now, I don't know if this Unity will allow it, but we'll try it and see what happens. What are we going to call this? Nope, doesn't allow it. That would have been too convenient. Let's close all of the other stuff. Still doing it. There we go. Okay. One second. Edit this out of existence. Good stuff. Okay. I think that's all we're going to need. All right, let's open them up. There we go. Okay, and let's also make some objects that we're going to target later. Guess we should probably make a new scene. Oh, right here. I could have sworn you just needed to right-click something to add a scene. Whatever, we'll do it here. Okay, and we're going to unload this scene. Save stuff, sure. Okay. Stable scenes. Let's add a, do we need a canvas for this? Yeah. So, I was debating which way I should go about this. Should it be that I do a set of canvases, sort them? Should every object have its own canvas? Or should I just have one canvas and then a manager for that canvas? And it kind of defeats the purpose. So when I had to sit back and really think about it, I'm like, what shows up? Like, you can have certain games where you would have a UI in world space, right? Like, that's a thing. Do we need a manager for that? I don't think so. Right? I don't believe we need to do that. I think the only situation we need a manager for, or this type of manager for, is if we're doing an overlay, or if we're doing just something that's on the screen in the like the HUD or various other panels, things like that, right? Like, that's where I was at with it. So in order to try to get the best of both worlds, this is like a trap when you try to fit everything in. One thing that came to mind was, well, we could just target multiple. And it's like, well, then we have to change the API to target multiple, and then you're going to end up having to know the names of these multiple. And it's just, it gets way too much. So I think it's best to probably have like a single one that we're targeting. Right? That's what I'm thinking. Or maybe like an abstract layer above that can take in a certain type, and then we can just call on that instance of that certain type to then execute on code from within that static member. but then that gets seedy. So we're going to just keep it simple for this because I don't want to spend way too much time here. So let's just create a canvas. Alright, and this is just going to be where, I mean, this doesn't need to live on the canvas. Like, we can create a separate object for this. It doesn't care. So let's create an empty here. Okay. So now this test UI. Let's just grab this namespace real quick. It sucks that we can't do this, though. Namespace. Or test. Yeah, we can't do it. That's terrible. Whatever. What's the other one? I think that's it. I think those are the three that we need. So let's just make like a, I guess like a panel. A couple panels. So it's gonna be like, and we can name this one.
The baseline.
Okay, so all of these are going to have one thing in common. They all are just going to have yep, they're all going to have just a UI panel script on them. And then we're going to have our SOs over here. Hey, Roman, how's it going? Yeah. It's only for like maybe 20-30 minutes. I'm planning on getting this cranked out as quickly as I can. Let's see. So let's start from the scriptable object. So we're going to leverage the system that we we're going to leverage a system that we made. I'm trying to fit them in. Hopefully I can get it done. Hopefully I can get it done really quick. I want to join Nepal. He's going to be doing I think a stream later, and he asked if I could join him. So absolutely. You know, let's see. Let's see. Okay, so I forgot what we named. I forgot what we named the game. We can check game ability. Hold on. Yeah, game ability has item data. Is this it? Data object. Element data. I think this is it. Data object. Let's check. No, this isn't it. This is the old one. Let's try game data. Oh, asset data. That's what I called it. Asset data? No. Darn it, I should have looked it up before I... Darn it. I forgot what the name of it was. I made it like 2 weeks ago and just forgot about it. It's somewhere around here. It's in like one of these folders that I'm like testing stuff out in. I just need to... I think I've made assets for it already. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this is it. Game assets. So it has to be called game asset. Yep, there it is. Okay, that's why it was part of my art library. That's why it wasn't showing up. Okay. Okay, so we're going to call this... I think we're going to call this... This is going to have one thing on it, and that is our UI. So it's going to have a serialized field to our UI panel. And it's going to be just the panel. And we're just going to have a public UI panel. Right? And I think that's basically all it needs. Do we need to give these names? I don't think so. I think possibly we could throw that on the UI panel itself. But these effectively are going to be... By just doing this, we are playing into our asset locator system. When we recompile it, we will be able to do something like this. Right, and we'd be able to get this asset right off anywhere that we want. Okay, so we don't need to do anything else here. This is pretty much done. Okay, now we're off to this. We need to... So this is going to be our actual UI element. And it's going to be inheriting... we haven't even made this. Holy cow. Hey, Nepal! Just talking about you, man. Okay, so we're going to be doing this. This might actually not be something I could finish this stream. It might be a bit longer than I thought. Right? So, just so that's clear, in Unity, when we do scripts that include mono behaviors, you can do stuff like this and get away with it, but only if the original script that's going to be instantiated is the first script, that is the first class that is mentioned in the script itself. So the only reason why I can get away with this, despite both of these being mono behaviors, is because this one has abstract on it. Otherwise, I would have to make a separate script for this. Okay. So we're gonna just do, let's be good programmers. Alright, and we're just gonna do a serialized field. And we'll just do a we just need a reference to the SO this is supposed to. It's kind of recursive, but it's not at the same time. So we just need the UI panel. And this is going to be the panel's identity. Right? So this is how we identify the panel now. We could just do a direct comparison between this SO and it to find out exactly which panel it is. That's what our manager is going to be using, and why our manager is going to get away with knowing absolutely nothing about what is going on with this UI panel besides its identity, or what it says its identity is. Okay. Now, we can get away with this, again, because we can also just use the asset locator to just get the panel here. And so we know, basically, we're linking it both ways. In ECS, what you would actually do is not do it this way, right? You would do it from here. This would be identified, but you wouldn't reverse identify back up. But we're doing it this way because we're not doing ECS. So, and we can get away with it. Let's see. Let's be explicit. Okay, so now we just need to do some behavioral check on it. So let's go public. Or we could just, should we do it that, yeah. Yeah, let's be explicit. Alright, and in case I want to add an animation to this. Okay. Okay. So now from here, we can just pass through the base panel. And we can just say something like... we don't need to worry about that. Alright, and so if you don't feel like typing that out repeatedly, we could just get away with... Yeah, there we go. Good enough. Right, so those are our 4 different actions for the animation that we could potentially have running here. Let's see. So now we can just do a get component for our canvas group. So I prefer to do this. So we do Right, this is just for debugging, usually. And we could actually get away with just doing this, too, right? So yeah, we could do that. Right? And so if we don't get anything here, then we can just do something like this. How do we do this again? It's somewhere. Is it under game object? Yep, there it is. Yeah. And then once we know, well, I mean, we know that this is going to work, so we could technically just do this. And we'll be good to go. Right? Because this is going to tell us anyway. And the best part about this is 0 alloc, so even though it doesn't matter in awake, but that's kind of why I enjoy using try get component over get component. All right, so now let's give ourselves a little help. Yep. So this is going to have a couple of functions that are known outside. Now I'm debating if let's do some. You know what? Because this could. Let's keep this friendly for web development. So we're not going to use any async. But I was tempted to try using some async stuff with this. But it's fine. So, if this is already open or if it's animating in any direction, we don't want to run this, right? If it is, yeah, is animating is going to be true. We can do game object set active to true. And we tell it to open the open panel started, and we just do an invoke this. Now, my coworker, Mr. Relly, really dislikes doing this, and he would prefer doing something like this. Right? And so what's the difference that's happening here? This is the exact same call, right? So we're calling this event to fly off once we hit this and we get to this line. This could potentially return an exception if there are no listeners attached to this, right? That's the only difference. If we already know that something should be attached to this at all times, then fine. But if we don't know, that's why I prefer doing this. Alright, I just generally do that. The downside is we won't get an exception normally, and so this can pass through even though there's nobody listening, and so we'll end up getting this weird behavior that something is just not responding. But if you're doing things where you're just like building, testing, you're going to catch that.
Let's go.
So now we're going to do let's actually make this a coroutine. I enumerate. There we go. So now we can do yield, return, and we can just have it on open animation. And so we have to make this. Okay, let's do that right here. Okay. So, and then from there, we can just do is open. We can set the is open to true, is animating equals false, and we can just call on open panel stopped. There we go. We should probably use complete for this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, there we go.
The night is like a lovely tune. Beware my foolish heart.
Okay, there we go.
How white the ever constant moon.
Okay. So, and then finally we're going to call,
There's a line between love and fascination. So
we need to tell it that on panel opened.
such as this.
We need to tell it to run its operations. It's this panel's normal operations once it's done. Let's write that in. That's just a regular method.
When you're lost in the magic of a kiss.
Okay, done. So that's our open command. Next we're going to write our close, which is pretty much the same thing, so we can just copy paste this. Let's actually put this over here. So if this is open and not animating, then we can run this. We set animating to true. The game object set active to false. We don't need to do this yet, actually. We just need to move these things around, but we need to set this to false. We'll put it after this. And we're gonna do on panel close. On close panel started. Okay. Then on close panel completed. Is open is going to be set to false here. Right, and we'll just have to make a on close animation. So this can be any animation. It's just going to be, we could call it from the animator or whatever, but we're just going, or we could make our own custom animation. Whatever we want to fit in here, we can fit in here. That's going to be the point of it. Okay. All right, so now let's do the on open animation. So in this case, we're going to have a toggle here. Actually, you know what? We're going to do it this way. Oh shoot, it's been so long since I wrote this, I forgot what the animation component was. Animator? Animator? I don't think this is it. I think it's animation controller. No. Animator controller? Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we'll check when we start this animation if... Right. We just do the same thing. Here. Alright, so we're going to have one animation that's going to just do its thing for us. And we could... So here's the thing. Like, you could potentially make, like, a scriptable object and just slot it in. So instead of... You see the same way that we have this here? We could just make, like, a scriptable object for, like, a specific animation we might want this to do, and just have this read the scriptable object and animate itself based on that. Right, like, pass itself into the SO, and then drive the SO using, like, a while loop, since we're inside of a coroutine. So that's all possible. But we're not going that route. We're just going to write in a simple little animation that, since we have a canvas group, we're just going to write in a animation as long as this is null. Doesn't I forget how this works. Isn't it supposed to be... I thought there was like a play option on these. Is it like play animation? Player's name. Let me try this. Maybe it's just animator. There it is. Okay. And then we just have it tell it to play something, I guess. Okay. Boom shakalaka. So, and then we just tell it to play something. So here we would just do... There we go. So from there, now we just pass in the animator and it can do whatever it wants to do if we have an animator. And then I think we can do a... Should be like time or something like that? I forget. It's been such a long time. Sup, Relly? 1 second. I'm trying to remember how to get the, Oh, is it get parameter? No. You can get a lot of stuff from the animator, just not what you need. I'm looking for, so ultimately what I want is the playback time, like how long it's going to take until it finishes playing through the animation. Does this return anything? No, it just throws back void. Is it clip length? I don't have access to clip. Oh, get current animator clip info. Got it. Thank you. Returns an array of all the animation clip info in the current state of the given layer. So right here we would do a yield return null, give it the animator time to do its change. Animator dot No, it shouldn't be a thing. But yeah, I got you. Clip. See, like in Godot, you could just type something like clip, and then you would be able to just immediately get the clip that you're looking at, like clip, close play ID, and then you could just get its info that way. But not Unity. Get clip. No, it's not clip, at least that's not what it is. It's not parameter. It's not that. That allows you to set the playback. You just really can't get your information off of this thing. I wrote a whole script to get around that. That's how bad this is. I recall doing it like earlier this year. Where the heck is it? What does this do? Rebind all animation properties and mesh. Nope. Okay, that's not it. Is there like an is playing or something flag? Oh, we can just do this. There we go. There we go. We can get the runtime controller. Now I remember. A lot of this stuff is inside of the runtime controller. Interesting. Oh man, that is fantastic. So what if I don't know the index? The unity. Maybe I need to make an array to capture the indexes of the array that we need. Yeah. There is a more human way of handling this. I'm so surprised that this thing legit doesn't have any callbacks inside of it. Like, you'd think that that would be the most basic thing about animators. Like, you should have built-in callbacks for when an animation starts and animation ends. That way anybody could just, like, hook in and listen to the general animation process, right? Like, that's normal coding practice. Or at least a flag to let me know that returns true. Wow. I wonder who made this. You know what? Hold on, let me take a look at this. Can I do anything with this? It doesn't let me go into the, Can I go into... Nope. Yeah, wait. There we go. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We can make it. I'm going to try to extend the animator and see what I can do with it. So they have like a bool here, where they get the is current. Why are they marshalling this? Wow. That's crazy. Take care, Roman. That is crazy. So they do internally track whether or not this is the current animation. Like, they know what they're doing. So they themselves realize that they need to know what they're currently playing, but they don't want to let you know that they know what is currently playing. That is funny. I don't know why they didn't. Why they didn't do it. That's crazy. And then crossfade is where I guarantee you the entirety of all the 2,000 lines above this, 2,624 lines above this, was made to get around this one part. I guarantee you, because crossfade is not easy. Like, it's easy to implement it, it's not easy to get it to play nice with everything else. Especially like events and callbacks. But there's a simple solution to it, which is to just pass through the animation information itself once it's completed and started. Okay, yeah, we're dead. We need to listen for actual events. Like, there's no way to extend this. There's no virtuals or anything like that here. Let me check the class above this. Is it? Yeah, it's just behavior. Okay, never mind. So the only thing that I could think of is to do this. Okay. Open anim time and close anim time. Okay, good stuff. All right, so let's finish up this animation process, and I'm gonna just call it here. This is gonna be my little piece, my little segment of this that I get done tonight. So we're going to just create a simple animation. It's just going to handle using the This is in case we don't have an animator. It will just check the canvas group, and if we have a canvas group, okay. So let's do, first we're going to set the canvas group alpha to 0. Alright. And the idea is that when we're coming into this, we want to be able to have like gradient. I'm going to put it that way. So let's create a can put these on double duty open playtime. Right, so we can just do elapsed time plus equals time dot delta time, and we can just increase the canvas group's alpha. Just lerp it. 0 to 1. And I think we have to divide this, right? There it is. Okay. And then we just do yield return null. So now we can just grab this. And instead we're going to start from 1. One sec. I don't recall this being part of this whole soundtrack, but it's possible that stuff was happening. I just never noticed it. No, we'll do this one. I like this one. Okay. Okay. That should do the trick. So that'll get us our close and open animation, as well as allow us to play this, and we can just in the inspector put in how long we want them to last, or how long we expect this animation to be played for. Okay, I think that's it. We've created the form for our little system here. We have our open path, we have our closed path, all of these functions. We still need to fill in this one, so this should be on panel closed. Right, and you can see already, like, this is just basically how... So I'm a big fan of open close. So either on before, on after, or open close, basically at the start of something and at the end of something, or before something and after something. And that gives, you'll even see I use it here for my, where is it? Over here, for this, right? So this is the game assets, and you'll see like a couple of these effects that I wrote in, or sorry, these events that I wrote in, which are all functional, right? So like we have these events over here, we can do something like, where is it? On after effect added, so we can just do something like Atlas game event on after attack, and we can do that. Like, that's a thing. That's the power of using our asset locator, and we can just call events from anywhere in our code now, through these scriptable objects. And anything that wants to subscribe to that, so we could do Atlas can just do this, like, I don't know. Whatever we want to do here, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Right? And it'll work. So now this is subscribed to listen to whenever this is invoked. through that game object. And we can specify various things about that. It's just like super useful, super awesome. And it's a combination because this is both static and instanced. So we can say, okay, we want to subscribe to a specific object that is listening to this, or that is going to invoke this. So now we can only hear from that specific object when it invokes it, right? So I believe in this case, I would just pass through this or something. I forget what it is. Yeah. So in order for that to work, this would have to be a simply event sender. Which would then mean that I need to implement an identity for it. And with that implemented, now I can invoke this as the object, and we can pass through as much as we want, like whatever we want. It doesn't stop, but the fact that we invoke this on it, so now anything that was subscribed oh, it's a second. Whoops. So anything that was subscribed can now pass through this, and so now only when this object invokes will these subscribers actually know that this object is the one and do their behavior based on that. Right? So super useful. I can't wait to get a chance to implement this and like use it. It's awesome. Anyway, on panel closed, so we're gonna just finish this up and gonna call it a night. So it's simple, just private void on panel closed. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna call it here. Hopefully tomorrow I'll get back. I thought we'd get a lot more done, but tomorrow we'll finish up the base panel. Well, what is tomorrow? No, not tomorrow. Probably this weekend. I'll finish up base panel. Finish up the UI panel. And yeah, that'll be the end of it. And then I'll be able to test this out by creating like a HUD and then putting over the HUD or whatever I want in different places. Basically, it's an orchestrator, so we can, in the end, we'll be able to just do open, close, or whatever we want. Name the panel that we want by passing through the same stuff you just saw me do with the asset locator. And it'll either generate the panel if we don't already have one, like almost like a pooler, or just put the panel perfectly where it should be. All right, we're gonna call it here. Thank you guys for joining. Relly, see you tomorrow, man. Okay, take care, Nick.